Hello, welcome to my first Blender tutorial, where we are going to create something very similar to this wheel here, which is an off-road wheel. I start with a cube, which I scale to be my bounding box, a guide. So these are the sizes of a standard 30-inch wheel in centimeter. It's 25 centimeter by 80 by 80. Cursor to center, add another cube, and this cube will be my guide where the rim is. So the rubber goes here, the metal goes here. Continue with adding a plane, which I align to the view and scale it down a little bit. And move it roughly to the center. Okay. Apply rotation and scale and add some details, because this will be the cross section of the tube. I add the subdivision modifier, go back to edit mode and tweak my edges. It is narrower where it goes into the rim, a little bit bulkier here, it's bulging here, and narrows down again at the top. Something like this. Not exactly, but it will work for now. Apply the modifier, not in edit mode, but in object mode. Go back to edit mode, edge select. I select the edges which I want to keep, invert and delete those which I want to get rid of. And basically this is it. Go back to object mode, cursor to center, and origin to 3D cursor. And now I can add my screw modifier to this object. Select the axis and make it a little bit more detailed. I don't need this anymore, and I fix these black lines here. Say tab, yeah. Recalculate normals, that fixes it. And continue with creating the rim. I add a plane which is aligned to the view, scale it down. This will be the wall thickness of the rim. Move it to the side where I want to start drawing. Edit mode. Edge select. I select this edge and start drawing. I know how the cross section looks of a rim because I checked on Google. And of course we need to tweak some areas. No, actually it's right in position, not too bad. And this is not in position. And it's a little bit narrower, and this is a little bit lower, something like this. At least I remember this way. And continue downwards. This is an area where we will add up the holes. This is an area for the screws, and this is the area for the main bore of the rim. And now we have to tweak the sizes a little bit, because I don't think they are accurate. Here, screws are okay here, and maybe it's a bit too thick. I'm not sure, but yeah, this should do. Okay. Go to object mode, cursor to center, and origin to 3D cursor. And before I do my modifier, I have to remove the edges which I don't need from the center, otherwise it will create faces in the center too. And that is not what we want. Invert and delete. And add our modifier. Same x-axis, 48 steps. Yes, edit mode, face, and recalculate. And now it looks like a rim. We have to fix the vertices here. Merge them at the center, and these two. And now we have to create the holes around here. So for a guide, I will add a circle which is aligned to the view and scaled down. Yes, like this. And I will use this circle as my visual guide for the knife tool, because I will cut out the thing by knife. And what I noticed, if the edge of the circle cuts just a small part of this big face, then it renders nicer than if it's, let's say, something like this. Probably there is an explanation of it, and I'm sure the hardcore 3D programmers know why it is. So, for me it's just an observation. Go to face, select mode, and using the knife tool, I start to cut. Okay, we are done with it. don't need that circle anymore, and I don't need these faces either, so I delete these faces. And since I don't want to cut again, I want to keep this shape, I delete these faces too, and copy over these. To the back side. I have to flip direction and snap to vertex because I'm going to use it, and move it here. And now I will snap all the vertices to the back side of the rim. So I go to vertex select mode, and now this is a bit tedious, but necessary if you want to make it precise. It's important to move the vertices which belong to the newly created object, not the old one. Okay, now that we have this, we go to face select mode and select these faces and delete them. And in addition, we select the newly created faces and create a new object out of them by separating them. And select our new object and apply rotation and scale. Okay, we set the cursor to center and add an empty object. Name it something we can remember, and add a modifier to this one, which is an array modifier. Instead of relative, we make it the new object, and we need 8 of them. 8. Okay, what I'm going to do here, I create a new face and in set and same thing on the other side. This will make it look nicer. Yeah. Okay, now we have this object with the center here, and we still have this empty here. So now we take this and rotate it 45 degrees. Excellent. Apply the modifier, delete this helper, select this and this, join the two objects, go to edit mode, select all faces and remove doubles. Should smoothen it. You can see some artifacts here. This is because of the smoothing. These things normally can be fixed by going to edit mode and be a little creative, like adding something here, for example. So here we are with the rim, with the holes. Now we make the area for the screws and the screws. Okay, so the screw is, I make it very simple. I add the cylinder, which is aligned to the view with 6 sides, and a very small size. And the bevel, and set the cursor to the selected, and I add a cone. Which is much smaller than this cone. With, let's say, 12 or 14 vertices aligned to the view and scaled down a lot. Split. And edge split here too. Okay, this is basically screw. Set the cursor to the center, origin to the 3D cursor. I will add an empty. Select my empty. No, select this and add my modifier, this array modifier. I need 6 of the screws. And we need to rotate it 60 degrees. And apply the modifier. And we can delete my empty here. Okay. I said apply the modifier. Delete the empty. Okay, next step is to create the threads on the rubber, and that takes a little while, so I'm gonna continue it in my next YouTube video, which I will upload in the coming few days, so stay tuned.